Welcome to MC Thursday Night Live 253. Can you imagine that? We were together probably a week or so after Facebook launched Facebook Live in 2015, and we have been hanging out ever since. Still in search of awesome sauce, and I'll tell you, we got some awesome sauce for you tonight. It's like awesome sauce on steroids. Mr. Austin Gibson. He's got the whole fam damn in the house to watch him, so I'm sure they're going to be sending lots of love and positive energy. I'm calling it growing at the speed of light, and you'll see here in a second. He is from the Room Hair Design Studio, Cape Girardeau, and Kanan Nunn is in the house tonight. Kanan Rhodes, and she's here to support him because her and I go back. I knew her before she was rich and terribly happy. Now she's the bomb. And Coach Summit Coach Chad Foss. So let me tell you why I invite him here tonight. You guys gotta watch these stats. So he getting started in 2019. He's on ramping. I'm gonna let you tell. He's gonna tell a story about that. Really, first full year is about 35 grand. That's last year in COVID. He is trending to do $100,000 this year in a W-2 with tips. I would say that's one hell of a pay raise. I mean, you start looking at, what is it, 34.5, that's around 600, what, 650 a week, 7 maybe, to 2 grand a week in income. So he is, he's on a roll, and that speaks for itself, right? Level 4, age 25, $77 average ticket, average days just under 5. Haircut at 41, probably trending to do 90, 100 referrals in 2021, rebooking at about just under 85%, RTS 14%. So as you can see, he is in the game. He's going to tell you a story, so I don't want to take anything away from that. Graduates high school in 14. And graduates with an associate of the arts degree in 16, started Trendsetter School in 18, becomes an associate with Kanan Rhodes at the Room. It actually starts at front desk too. He did a little bit of that. Graduates from the associate program, and no wait, there's more. That finishes barber. It does a barber crossover. He'll tell you about that. And like I said, he's trending to blow it up in 2021. If you're not following him on Instagram, I would do that. His handle is austin.theroom. I love what he does in his grids. And if you go there, look at his highlight. He's probably got that entire highlight are raving reviews. Probably got 100 reviews just in that highlight. Listen, I think if that's the only highlight he has in his library, by the time you read him, you go, okay, I want this guy to serve me. So he's got a lot of good stuff going on. He's in my green room now. I'm going to go get him talking about his story, and then I'm real curious as to what in the world he's doing to grow at that speed. So let's go get him. And we'll see what's on his mind tonight. There he is. I'm going to unmute him. You're going to make him feel welcome.
Hey, Michael.
Welcome, my friend. Thanks for coming on tonight after a long day.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. This is such an honor.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here. Been looking forward to the conversation. We always like to get our guests started with the story, because the story, first of all, allows us to get to kind of know you as a person. And through the story, it really shows us what's possible if we have the kind of willingness and commitment that you do. So who are you, and what was your life like before, and what got you in this game? What was it like?
So I have always had an obsession with hair. I can remember being so young, like all the way to like first grade, the girl that would sit in front of me during class, she had the longest hair, and I'd sit there, I'd brush it, I'd braid it, everything. And then my mom and my sister, they're on the live tonight. I remember always doing their hair, curling it, brushing it, coloring it, whatever it may be. When I got into high school, I got into theater. and I did backstage hair and makeup. Loved just every aspect of that. It got me really into that beauty industry. And then I was getting ready to graduate from high school, and I was really set in my ways. I wanted to go to the cosmetology school that was in my hometown, and sat down, did paperwork, and my mom, she was in the room with me. She just looked over at me and she's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is what I want to do." And she had said to me, maybe, she's like, "I'll make a deal with you. If you go and get an associate's degree, then whatever you want to do after that, we'll do it." And so we're sitting there, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to college first, and get that background degree. And then I graduated in 2016 with my Associates of Arts degree from a small little junior college in my hometown, and saved up money. I was working at a bank for just a short while. It was not for me. And then I moved to Cape Girardeau and started school shortly after. I was in the cosmetology field, and felt so at home. I mean, just my first day in a classroom, my instructor, she just was so welcoming and she was amazing. I went to Trendsetters, and they really just set that fire for me. It really just made everything that I had waited for finally come to terms and where I wanted it to be. And I was halfway. I was like, not even halfway. I think I was 3 months into my schooling, and I met Kanan, and she came and taught a Redken class at the school. It was an all-day affair. Shout out to Kanan. I know you're on here. And then within a week or two, she had reached out to me and she said, "Hey, I don't know what you're doing right now. I don't know where you're working, but I want you to come work for me." She's like, "You have it." And I was like, okay. So that's my story all the way up until
I love it. It is a classic story. So, and there's a lot to learn in that you saw my 200th and 53rd interview. So I've had this opportunity to be on the receiving end of a few stories, and there is a number of people. Just once upon a time, when I was young, and it was already calling to my soul. I'm getting goosebumps now. And, you go through school, but, for whatever reasons, our parents, God love our parents, are always looking out. They're our guardian angel. And there's something about, okay, if you can go to college, and who knows, maybe something happens there. But you kind of said, okay, I'm going to do that. But you even go, I'll tell you what, we'll go out in and get the livelihood. But you're so, gee, I'm dying here. My soul is starving to death. So finally the parents say, whatever you got to do. And the great irony is you're a year, 2 years into it. And the irony is you're enjoying a livelihood that exponentially is greater than 80-90% of people with 4-year degrees, 6-year degrees. And I'm not stepping on college at all. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But you're experiencing a livelihood that's second to none. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Now, to get invited on the program, you have to meet and exceed metrics. And you're blowing, at Summit we call it blowing the charts. But we know that there's something that happens in the 250 plus conversations I've engaged in, and I know it happened in my own life. There are these turning points. They're definable moments. We have, sometimes we'll call them the OMG or the grand aha, where it feels like some life is pouring nitroglycerin on our bonfire, and it quickens the trajectory. You have one of them. What was it?
Mine was working for Kanan Rhodes. She is the salon owner of the Room Hair Design Studio. And she reached out to me at the beginning of my school journey, and she gave me a home in Cape Girardeau and a salon environment that was so welcoming, and it catered to all of my needs. And working under her and working for her company was probably the biggest blessing that really set my career on fire as well. She laid out the stepping stones, and if I wanted to run, she would run with me, and coaching to my happiness. Just a fantastic friend and mentor. I can't stress that enough.
And I think you said in your story, you met her. She actually came in a few hundred hours when you were in school to do a tutorial or something. And, you know, you get that spark like, okay. And then didn't you tell me she blew in your ear? She said, you got it. Come see me when you're done.
Yes.
And the rest is history.
Yes. And so working under her, I worked as front desk. I did that the entire time I was in school. And as soon as I graduated, I was ready to begin my associate program. I already knew the odds and ends of the salon. I knew how she wanted it ran. So starting my associate program, I was already comfortable with the guests that were there. They already knew who I was. They had interacted with me. So it just jump-started me. And is one of those things that you just have to place yourself in it, and you just have to do it and know that it's going to work.
Yeah. Well, a couple of points. One, she says, you're making me cry. So she got Kanan probably got Niagara Falls coming out of her eyeballs now. She's so grateful and she's so proud. But the other thing you said is, you know, there's a lot of people that are outside of the community, hairdressers in business, and they kind of mock and they scoff and they're kind of cynical. And it's like, you brought something to the table that nobody can bring to the table for you. And that's the willingness to believe, the willingness to demonstrate your belief by engaging in actions. And some of these actions, when they're new, can invoke fear, and the willingness to disobey fear and take the action anyway. So you're a real, sometimes I call it poster child, New Testament case study in what's possible when you step up and you get touched by the vision, and all of a sudden now you're moving at the speed of light.
Yes.
So where do how has this changed you? I mean, we can only imagine when you're hanging out at 35, you do the math on that, 35 a year, somewhere around $650 a week and, gross before taxes. And all of a sudden now you start hanging out at $1,500, $2,000 a week before taxes. I mean, that's like, it's almost a triple income. What's that do to your mind? What's that done to your standard of living? What's that done to you?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. Whenever my first go around, whenever I was in cosmetology school, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, I was barely making it, but I made it work. Since having this growth and getting where I'm at, I have moved to a second place here in Cape, a much nicer area, and just investing in myself more. I think that has been a big turn for me. I'm investing tools to use, certain blow dryers, shears, more education, whether it's in person or online. And I have started a financial account for my retirement, because that's one thing as hairdressers, we don't always get that retirement. So I've started doing that as well. And it's nice. It is nice to be here.
Yeah, you and I were chatting about this, and the idea that the good news is you triple your earning power, but you earmark a chunk of that. Now, at 25, there's a lot of people in their 20s that just can't wrap their mind around retirement. So what I would say, building wealth, building security, you're on a choo-choo track for a 6-figure income, but you're also planning your life in a way to enjoy a 7-figure net worth. You'll probably get there in your 30s, certainly by 40-something, to stay on the trajectory and you'll have both 6-figure income, 7-figure net worth. And that's just for whatever reasons, that kind of mindset, I've come to call it the millionaire mindset, is an exception, a supreme exception to the rule. And it sounds like you're demonstrating that.
Yes. Like I said, sometimes it's unreal to me. Just coming from a small town, still living in a relatively smaller town in Cape Girardeau, but much bigger where I came from. I have big city dreams, but here in Cape Girardeau, it's amazing to be in this place.
Yeah. I know you can't really, you can try to explain the experience to people. The closest I come to it is like going to the Grand Canyon or one of those wonders of the world. You're absorbed in the experience. You got to go home and talk about the experience. So the closest you can get to it, it's either a postcard or you took a selfie. But there's such you just can't put it into words until you're on the receiving end of that experience. And I know that you can see what I'm pointing to. Let me ask you another question. Where do you go from here? I mean, I know that you're on a six-figure trajectory, but what's 2021 and beyond look like for you?
I'm hoping that in 2021, I do hit my 100K goal. That is my biggest goal for this year. I want to max out my IRA each year. I would love to get out there on the social media, be a social media figure. Eventually, I would love to become a Redken artist like Kanan herself, travel, teach, go to the cosmetology schools here in town more. And then I think everyone's goal, eventually retire. My goal is to retire at 40. It seems far-fetched, but no, I want to do it.
I bet anybody tonight, a grande Starbucks topping nut latte, that you're going to be there before 40. So stay tuned. More will be revealed. We got a few minutes. I just want to get you talking a little bit about, I call it secret sauce. I mean, what is it that you're bringing to your daily protocol that would expedite, first of all, get you 4 level jumps inside of 365 days and on a 6-figure income trajectory? Like, what are you doing behind the chair or with your downtime that's making a difference?
Not sleeping. No, I'm just kidding. Working and putting in as much work as I possibly can. I put in 32 hours behind the chair, but I also run a social media business. And that goes a long way. Reaching out to new clients, reaching out to returning clients, getting them in my chair, and just making sure that I'm getting that paycheck each week. And I always tell myself, and Kanan has told me before, like, you're going to feel uncomfortable, but uncomfortable is how you grow. And that's how you conquer the fear, like you had said earlier. And I've realized that in this past year, that it didn't come overnight. It was hard work every single day. There were no off days. And if I did, I had to, schedule in a vacation, which I gladly will take any time.
Yeah.
And then a quote, and we have this. So on our salon website, you can go on there and it talks about our salon. One of the quotes that I have on there, and it has stuck with me for many years, is, if you don't go after what you want, you will never have it. And if you don't ask, the answer will always be no. And if you don't step forward, you're going to be in the same place. And finding the room and finding Kanan, that quote went right with what I was doing. I knew what I wanted. I told her. She told me what I had to do. I did it. And it's got me where I'm at.
Yeah. I really, there's a part in your share. First of all, extraordinary share. While I'm behind the chair 32 hours a week, I put in hours, and you characterized it as my quote social media company, and and I'm my primary client. I'm going on my platform. I'm studying who is following me, who is commenting me. I'm going to their pages. I'm, following them. I'm following up on comments. I'm probably direct messaging. I'm doing all kinds of things. But how many hours, if you had to guess how many hours a week, in addition to your 32, are you putting in that? What would that be?
Oh my gosh, I would hate to look at my screen time. I would say I put another 20 to 30 hours into my cell phone, probably 4 or 5 hours a day, making posts, reaching out to people. It sounds crazy, but that's just something you have to do, especially in, I would say, your first couple years, just getting you where you need to be. But I love social media, and being on it, I notice a huge difference.
I was looking at your page and your grids. I wanted to ask you just a couple of sidebar questions about it, because you put the consciousness, the energy into it. It's extraordinary. I think you heard me tell the viewers tonight that you've got a highlight that's devoted solely to reviews. And as I was looking, I'm kind of looking at the number of slides. It's high double digit. You might even be into 100 reviews on just that. And so I can imagine that when clients or potential clients come to your page to kind of check out, your work, they're seeing that, and that's going a long way that guarantees them that their experience with you is going to be favorable. My question I want to ask you is, I would be curious, how many first-time clients do you get that got to you from your page, or maybe they DM'd you and said, hey, I'm looking at your work, and all of a sudden you find yourself having a conversation with your next client that hasn't booked yet. We'll call it a referral on, an active conversation on direct message from in Instagram. Have you had those experiences?
Oh, yeah. I would say 2-3 times a week, I will have a potential client message me, ask what my availability is, services, whatever it may be. And unfortunately for my guests, they are waiting about a month and a half to get into me right now. So I always tell them a book ahead of time. I'll tell you the services. But I would say 2 to 3 people a week, I will get new people in.
And I can only imagine, I'd be curious, do you ever have any of them that actually took a screen grab off a piece of content from your grid? They direct message you and go, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think?
Yes. Yes, all the time.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you're having an active conversation. It's not a telephone conversation. It's not a FaceTime. It's not a Zoom. But you kind of and sometimes they'll even, in addition to texting you or direct messaging you a piece of your content, they'll do a selfie. And they'll say, here's what I look like now, so that you can see. It's almost like the before after. Will it work? And you get the deal figured out before they even book with you. Yes. Yeah. Social media direct messages is so nice, just to get a ballpark estimate of what is going to be. Our salon, we also offer face-to-face consultations before service or prior to scheduling, just so they have that comfort. And we have the time for it. So yeah. Yeah, and I've come to call that the organic pre-visit virtual consultation, where the first visit is happening on Instagram direct message. So when they come for what we used to call the first visit, it's almost like a second visit experience, and they come in booked at a higher ticket. It's like we have to do less, what we used to call upselling. There's less of that on the front end, because it all happened, frankly, in a better way, organically, on social media. Yes. I love it. Well, listen, we're out of time. I want to ask you one last question, and that is for the people that are watching and identifying and relating, but they're at where you were, they're not where you're at. What would you say to them that might inspire them and make the decision to take the giant leap of faith like you did? I would say to them, stay motivated, stay dedicated to yourself, your craft, your salon company, wherever you end up working at. Have a mentor, have someone that is going to show you the ropes of what worked, what didn't work for them, and better ways of how to do it. And do a salon company that
inspires you and makes you feel at home. Because if you're uncomfortable in a salon company and it's not a fit for you, it's just not going to work out.
I love it.
And
I love it. Well, promise me that you'll come back for not just an encore, but I would absolutely love to engage you in my latest, greatest conversation called Millionaire Mindset. Now that you're trending a six-figure income, it sounds like you're well on a trajectory for seven-figure net worth. Like you said, I want to be able to retire at 40. We both know that to make that a reality, we need a net worth in or around seven figures, which is $1 million. So I'm sure my community would be dying to listen and watch that conversation. So promise me you'll come back.
absolutely, I would love to be there.
All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna let you get on with your evening, have a little dinner. You had a lot of raving fans, a lot of family, a lot of people with the last name of Gibson, and they were sending you love and making some great comments. You'll be able to read the comments when we're done. So thank you very much, my friend. It was just a joy to interview you, and it was very inspiring to listen to what you had to say.
Thank you so much, Michael. It was an honor to be here tonight with you as well.
Thank you. We're going to give it up for Mr. Austin Gibson one more time, and have a good evening, my friend.
You too. Thank you.
All right, bye now. I think you ought to give it up for him one more time, you guys. I loved, there was a humility, a grace in him, a spirit of willingness, and think about the power of that when people are in that kind of spirit, that they I call it time collapses for them. Time is crushed, time is condensed. They get to places in a year that many people don't get to in 20 or 30 years. And this is his really second full year, 25 years old, just getting warmed up. So certainly a wonderful vision, if you will, of what's possible when your soul is in what you do. So ending the evening, if you enjoyed the conversation and you're new to the conversation, you're watching Michael Cole Summit, Facebook Live. This conversation happens every Thursday at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. And we have other conversations that happen during the week as well. Austin will be back for my newest conversation, the Behind the Chair Millionaire Mindset, best practices that of stylists that are about that mindset. I also have two Instagram pages. One you can't get to. I was fished. What is it? Fished, hacked, and my page is deleted. And Instagram, if you're listening, we're texting you every day. We're on the feed. Please, resurrect, reinstate my Michael Cole Summit Instagram page. It was a community of just under 50,000. So there we have just amazing content on that. In the meantime, I launched another page called Michael Cole Salon Innovator, and I'm using that page and exactly as we've used Michael Cole Summit over the years, and saying lots of prayers daily that Instagram will be gracious enough to get me online. So I'm also have another community on TikTok, Michael Cole Next. I'm now on Clubhouse, and if you're not in Clubhouse, it's like a drop-in audio podcast / what is it? NPB is it? What is it? Where people can log on with their mobile device, and it's all about podcasting, and it's real time, and it's really, really interesting. So you can follow me on Clubhouse, Michael Cole Next, and then all of the content that we do for this is uploaded on Michael Cole Summit's YouTube page. So tonight's interview will live on the Facebook page. We'll edit it, put it on the YouTube page. Also, we'll edit it down into about a 5-minute micro learning and upload that to YouTube as well. And when it'll also be placed in the Michael Cole Salon Innovator IGTV channel. So a lot of different ways that you can experience that tonight. So I'd love you to get involved in that. If you're not following the Summit Salon community, this would be a time to do that. There's a brand new SummitSalon365.com. It is all of the content that I teach is put on there, but it's a different type of video experience. It's what's called production value video. So we're able to put something together in very high production, a lot easier to watch, viewer friendly, lot more post editing, a lot more visualization. And we've got 2 pieces of content on there. We've got a massive body of knowledge for social media training. And it's all in the Michael Cole aspect of Summit 365. And we've just put the second big block of content for Michael Cole Summit Top 20 Wellness. We're talking about emotional wellness, mental wellness, personal, interpersonal wellness. All of us have gotten our butt kicked, our emotional and mental butt kicked by COVID. So I'm getting rave reviews out of all the content that we have on that platform. We have just a very large and sudden community that are interested in wellness. And no, wait, there's more. We're getting ready to launch the second big piece of content under emotional wellness. So hang out there, and you'll get well, or you'll magnify your wellness. Talk to any of our coaches. I think we're at about 70% of the work we do now is online because of all the stuff that came with COVID. And we're finding that we're as or more effective doing online coaching as we've ever been doing our traditional. We still do the traditional if that's what you want, great. But there's a real opportunity for you here. You can visit summitsalon.com and set up an interview for a complimentary virtual consultation with one of our coaches, 30 minutes, that'll show you what's possible. We have tracking apps to set goals, and we have it all. And all of that is complements of L'Oreal professional products, L'Oreal Salon Emotion. Here is who I am, we are powered by. Is L'Oreal professional product. These are L'Oreal brands. Please, please, please support them. Get behind them, whether you're a Redken part of the community and or the Pulp Riot, Balayage, Kerastase, Purology, L'Oreal Professional, Matrix, Mazzani, Shoe. So there's just an extraordinary mix of brands, and to the degree that you support these brands, we're in a position to be able to continue to be powered by L'Oreal. So all of this is brought to you. It's not free. I don't like to use the word free. It sounds cheap to me. Nothing's free. There's no such thing as free, but compliments, courtesy of. So to the degree when you say, what makes L'Oreal different? What's their highly unique, sustainable, value-added point of difference? Don't look now, but you just experienced it. And there, you can go anywhere on the internet and see what we're able to bring to the table, complements them. And then, of course, we have our more leveraged services called coaching, be it online or traditional, and our summit training, our social media training. So I could go on and on and on, really advocating what we do. So hang out with us, join us. We'd love to have you. And until next week, thanks for being part of the community.